Hey, how's it going? Elliot here with The Growing Agent, and today I'll be giving you 10 reasons why you need to have a buyer consultation prior to the first home showing. In this video, I'll give you 5 reasons as to why it benefits your buyer, and then 5 more reasons how it benefits you as a real estate agent, all based around questions from the growing agent community. So without further ado, reason number 1 is so you set your clients up for success. A great consultation will allow your buyer to express their expectations of what they're looking for in a home and give you a better idea of how you can help them as their agent. By skipping this step and diving straight into home showings, you'll have no idea how you can help your client as you don't know what to look for. Now, the second reason to have a consultation is so your buyer has a full understanding of the process to come. Anxiety is already at an all-time high when someone is purchasing a home. And by explaining the process ahead of time, your buyer can concentrate on the more important things, such as where will their couch go, or where will the bed fit, rather than worrying about what's to come next. Now, piggybacking off the first 2 reasons, reason number 3 is to provide a great overall experience. By performing all the prep work in the beginning stages with your client, you will provide a seamless experience rather than turning them into another person that says home buying is the worst thing ever. Which leads us to reason number 4, don't waste their time. By not having a consultation up front, you're simply wasting everyone's time. You're wasting the buyer's time by not fully preparing them. You're wasting your own time, as this experience will cost you more time and resources, and the seller's time by vacating their home, accommodating for a showing to a non-prepared home buyer. And reason number 5 is so your buyer can get their team in order. Now, depending on the home buyer, they're going to need a few professionals in their corner. They'll need you, the real estate agent, a loan officer if they're not paying cash, a home inspector, an attorney, since we use attorneys here in Illinois and some other states, and a title company. Now, something I always say is things can get complicated when there are too many chefs in the kitchen. And if you don't know who all these people are ahead of time, it can complicate things real quick. So do your home buyers a favor and make sure they get their team in order. Now, consultations are just as important for the real estate professional as it is for the buyer. By having one up front, it can save you a lot of time and resources along with major headaches. And the first way it can do that is by setting your expectations. When I work with my buyers, I always set client expectations, so it helps me be more efficient at helping them with what they need. By not having these conversations up front, things can get real awkward real fast, where every time there's an obstacle within the transaction. Reason number 2 for having a consultation up front is to prevent yourself from showing so many houses. I hear this all the time from real estate agents that I personally know. By figuring out what your buyers' wants and needs are up front, you'll know exactly where to focus your search. And when buyers start veering off towards homes outside of their price range or the initial consultation, you can hit the brakes and reevaluate. Which in relation leads me to reason number 3, don't waste your time. I mentioned this earlier, how it can save your client a bunch of time. However, from an agent standpoint, we need to be mindful of our own time for several reasons. Maybe we have several clients and we need to make sure that we utilize our time properly. If we start working with a buyer that's pulling us in every which different direction, it can lead to nowhere. And it can pull us away from another buyer who knows exactly what they're looking for. I know it wouldn't be fair to them and we could potentially lose that other client. Now, there are so many other reasons why a consultation up front can help you save a bunch of time, and I touch more on that in the Growing Agents Premium course, so be sure to check that out. But moving along to reason number 4 is to control the transaction. As I mentioned earlier, when there are too many cooks in the kitchen, things can turn sour really quick. There's going to be many things within a real estate transaction that is out of our control, so I suggest that we do our best to control what we can, starting with vendors. Every time I work with a buyer, I always recommend my preferred vendors. This means my lender, my attorney, my home inspector, my title company, you name it, even if they've already been pre-approved with somebody else. And the reason I do this is because I feel my client trusts me to help them with their home purchase. The real estate agent is generally the first person they reach out to, so I like to think of it as if I'm the glue that holds this transaction together. I want my buyers to go with the people that I know can get the job done. But if they prefer to work with somebody else who I've never worked with before, hey, that's absolutely fine. I simply tell them where my role lies in the transaction and inform them from whatever point moving forward, there's only so much I can do. My point is, with my go-to people, I have relationships with them that can give us an edge. I know I can call my lender at 9 p.m. on a Saturday night and he'll pick up the phone. And I can't promise the same thing about a lender through a 9 to 5 bank. Now, once again, not to dive in too deep, I touch more of this throughout the Growing Agents course, which I encourage you to check out as it'll give you a competitive edge against your competing offers from other agents. And moving on to reason number 5 to have a consultation, which I believe is actually the most important as a real estate agent, is to build and protect your reputation. Once again, by setting expectations up front and explaining what the experience will be like in advance, it'll go a long way to protect the brand that you work so hard to build. When you lay out the foundation from the get-go and things go according to the blueprint, you can recap at the end of the entire experience and say, hey, didn't I say this was going to go this smoothly? Or if the buyer decides to stray away from the path, you can always remind them of what the course of action should be. Either way, when you set consistent expectations through consultations with each and every buyer that you work with, you will protect your brand and you will protect your name. And as time goes on, you will have a foundation of past clients who will give back to your business because they know how you get things done. So there you have it, our 10 reasons why buyer consultations are an absolute must before showing homes. Again, you can see the full breakdown videos of how we handle buyer consultations with every buyer from beginning to end with the Growing Agent course. If you're interested in signing up, be sure to check out the link in the description. And if you come across any questions or want to know more about things that we didn't cover, don't be shy and please let me know.